Welcome to Midday on this Tuesday afternoon. Our first guest joining us, Graham Mack from Fulton and Company. Thanks for being here, Graham.
Thanks for having me on.
So we're talking about collections lawyer. What is a collections lawyer? I learned about this when I read your information that you sent me. So I'll just let everybody know, first of all, what a collections lawyer actually is.
So pretty simply, we act for businesses and individuals who are owed money. And so that typically takes the place of, lenders like credit unions or banks. But we also act for businesses then collecting their accounts receivable, or even landlords, commercial landlords, to enforce their leases. So it's a kind of a broad range, actually.
Okay, so it can be, like you say, leasing or anything like that.
Yeah,
okay.
Oftentimes it's debt collection for loans, whether those are foreclosure type mortgages or unsecured collection. We kind of do it all.
Okay, so why would you need a collections lawyer then? I mean, you're not going to want to go about this on your own necessarily, right? Seeking that expertise, expert advice is probably best especially if you're owing money or you're owed money.
Yeah, we have a very sort of niche practice where we have a really well-trained and knowledgeable staff who sort of make the process very streamlined and really cost-effective. Because oftentimes we find businesses will have a large accounts receivable that they are thinking, well, do I even bother trying to collect it, or do I just write it off? And we can look at it and sort of assess, no, like you have some good enforcement mechanisms here, and we want to try and help you realize on that amount owing. So.
Okay, I think we have a couple of slides just for information if people want to follow along. So this, you've already touched on this, on what a collections lawyer does. So if we can just go to the next one. I found this quite interesting. So what does the collections process actually look like? If you can take us through this, Graham.
So this is sort of a rough overview. We often start a file with pretty much every file by sending a demand letter to the person who owes the money, the debtor. And sometimes that'll actually get a response from somebody saying, look, I can't pay the full amount now, but I can pay, X dollars a month for 12 months going forward. If we don't get a response, then we file what's called a notice of civil claim, and that's like the first formal court document to start a collections action. From there, we apply for judgment. Sometimes that can be a default judgment, or we go before a master or a judge for summary judgment. And then once judgment's obtained, then we look at post-judgment. And that's sort of where the more interesting work comes in. And how do you actually, once you have judgment, collect on that judgment to get the money?
Okay.
So that takes its form in a variety of ways. Sometimes it's a voluntary payment arrangement. Other times it's garnishment, by way of wages or bank accounts. We retain bailiffs to seize and sell personal property like vehicles and other things like that. And then also we can sell real property, so houses and things like that.
Yeah. So hopefully, well, most people would hope it wouldn't go past the first demand letter.
Yeah.
That's
for
the
sure.
first step, and hoping that you get that response right away.
You bet.
So if someone is seeking a collections lawyer, what are they looking at for cost? Is it something where it is quite expensive, or what would you?
We try and keep that proportionate to the amount owed, and we are agreeable to sometimes different arrangements. So it doesn't have to be just hourly; it can also be contingency. So we'll agree to take a percentage of what we collect, which makes things a little bit more enticing for people looking to collect on money. And other times you can do a flat rate fee. So, just for issuing a demand letter, that can be a set cost. And then proceeding with actually filing a notice of civil claim and judgment can be another set cost. And so somebody can say, look, I'm willing to take it the first 3 stages. If we don't get a very good response, or you're not happy with how the collection's gone, then we can stop and then not out any more money after that. So we can really tailor it to...
Yeah. And just whatever works best for that client.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you've explained sort of what a collections lawyer does, how much it costs, and how to go about paying for that, and the different steps that the process takes. Are you seeing a lot of this in your practice? Do you guys, does Fulton and Company deal with a lot of these kinds of claims?
Yeah, so our practice group within Fulton and Company is 3 partners, and I'm the lone associate in the group. And then we have, I think it is 9 or 10 staff now that do exclusively this area of law. So we're quite busy, and we appear to be getting busier. So it's been good.
Can this get messy at all? You know what I mean? Because when you say owing money or owed money, anything that comes down to the dollar or some financial figures, it can be stressful and can get a little messy. Or does it get messy?
It can occasionally. I would say that's the exception rather than the rule. Oftentimes people, are pretty forthcoming and come in and say, look, I would really love to pay it. I just don't quite have the full amount now. And that's when we kind of come in to sort of work out an arrangement that makes the lender happy as well as the debtor. So we try and help people a little bit that way.
Yeah. Better than them trying to figure it out on themselves by themselves sometimes, right? Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Graham, for joining us. We really appreciate that. So for more information, you can visit Fulton and Company's website. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. Their phone number as well. If you need any legal advice, they're the people to call. So please do so. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
We're back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.